Hi, welcome to the small shed. This Saturday I'm going to start building a mezzanine floor. See you in a minute. Now this isn't for here, there's not really room, and we've got very small mezzanine floors above the ends of the shed, but this is a bigger job down at Mezzanine Sheds in Bromsgrove. They're beginning to run out of storage room for timber and surplus materials, some of the machinery that they've got, so we're looking to change the layout of the unit. So this is the men's shed, the main workspace area. The original intention was to put a mezzanine floor in at that rear end, about 2.5 metres, 2.4 deep, from the back wall forwards, with a beam across, support column and a staircase on the right, and all the support timbers could sit on that rear wall and the side wall to take the load. And that was fine. We've gone about getting an awful lot of timber that we'll do for the joists. I spent many happy hours denailing them, and we've also got ourselves a staircase that will save a lot of work and will fit pretty much right for height, I think, again down that far end. Now the fly in the ointment, we've been waiting for about 6 months or more to get a lease signed on the unit. Fly in the ointment was when we said we wanted to do this, they've agreed that we can do it, but they want £250 and a set of plans to do it, which is no big problem because I was intending to do that anyway. But while we were at it, we've also been talking about opening up the main space on the right hand side. We've got at the moment a strange arrangement. There's an office in the corner which is nothing to do with us. That's basically Age UK's office, and they maintain that. But we have got this other area just inside off the kitchen, which has become a bit of a dumping ground and is not necessarily wasted space, but it's space that could be used more easily if this left hand wall was not there. So we thought, if we're going to pay £250 to get permission to do the alteration, we might as well see if we can include in it the proposal to completely take out this partition on the right hand side down to the point where the kitchen starts, and then we'll open up that whole area into the main shed. A little bit of work to be done on the electrics if we do that, but most of it's surface mount and we've put most of it in anyway, so we know what's there and can alter that. So that's the proposal. What I'm doing today is to come and just measure up, get some drawings done and probably make a model, and we can see where we're going from there. And unfortunately in this day and age, whereas if it were my workshop I'd just go ahead and do it, with landlords and people like Age UK involved, obviously we need some sort of proposal document to get permission, and ultimately these things all come with a cost. So I'm going to try and mitigate some of that cost by doing all the design and drawings so that we can do a proposal document for them, and hopefully we can then go ahead and start the work. I shan't be doing all of the work, a lot of it will be done by the guys at Mezzanine Sheds, but with a certain amount of experience in buildings and metal stud partitions and things like that, I'm probably better suited than many to know roughly what they've got to do to take things apart and reassemble it. So first thing to do is to get a drawing of the unit. I went down a couple of months ago and did a full survey on it, so I've got all the measurements. I know roughly where everything is. We've measured all the steels and all the walls that are there. So I'll do a quick plan of the actual unit itself without any internal walls. I'll copy that and then we can work off that to do an existing and a proposed layout for them. First thing though, go and find the drawing board. Now you can see I'm following what I talk about hidden spaces in the workroom as well. I use kitchen base units for my storage, and there's a pipe void at the back of them of about 50 to 80 mil, and I can store things in that if they're things that I don't use very often, and the drawing board is one of those things. First step is to clean the board down. It's a long time since I've done a lot of this sort of thing, but I always kept the board for just in case moments like this. But it has got quite a bit of sticky on it from these previous work with masking tape and that sort of thing. So we'll just clean it up, because nothing worse than getting stains all over the paper that you're trying to work with. That's it, bit of isopropyl alcohol, that soon cleans everything up. So what I need really, I've got this which tends to run nicely up and down. I've got a square to give me the verticals against that, scale rule, and I'm using some small cheap fine line pens, and I've got some architect's detail paper, which is what I normally use for this sort of thing. It's nice to work with, it takes ink well, and you can, if you make a mistake, you can just scrape it off with a knife blade. I forgot to mention, I've also got a couple of click pencils, the little thin nibbed pencils, and a rubber, because the man that never made a mistake never made anything. So I can do the drafting out initially in pencil, and then put the black ink on afterwards to tidy it up. Done the two side by side. That way I can actually run a lot of the lines across, so that the existing and the finished drawing can be done at the same time, rather than, as I originally thought, I'd do one and then work off it. So that's the two drawings done. That's the existing layout that we have at the moment. Really, that's a fairly small area that we gain. What I'm proposing though at the moment is that all this area here is partially boarded out over here. This area is boarded, and there's an area at the back which is boarded as well. But all of this area here at the moment is just rock wall and suspended ceiling. So my real idea is that we joist and board that out as part of the construction of the office itself, similar construction to that one, and then literally use that as our light storage. Well, that's done the drawings. I'll do the proposal document now, go off and do that, and hopefully at some point in the future I'll let you know how we get on, and we'll pick up and run with any works that carry on down at the shed itself. That's all I'm doing this week. Look forward to seeing you next week, when I hope we'll be doing something different. See you then. Bye.